Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I'm going to share with you a little experimental setup I did using the Blender VSE and Sverchok nodes. So basically, this is a quick demo. If you can guess what it is actually doing. So we have a bunch of text stripes here, and we have our 3D scenes here displaying on the VSE. But as you can see, as I scrub over the text, this thing will change. The text and the actual 3D geometry will change based on the stripes. So if I select the monkey head, the monkey text here, and I change it to donut, for example, and I scrub, it becomes the donut. I can actually run it in real time and then change this on the fly. So what's actually going on here is that if I switch on the node editor and then switch to Sverchok, so we can see there's a bit of setup there. Basically, the node setup is actually looking at the text, looking at every text, and whenever there's this timeline bar is running through the text, it will make modification to whatever in the 3D scenes. In this case, just the text object and this 3D geometry objects. And let's dig in, basically. So as usual, we have the nodes that look at the scenes and sequence editor and grab all the sequence and then filter out only the text stripes and then sort it by its name. And then what's happening next is what's going on. Looks at every text stripe start frame and the end frame, basically. So it knows where the animation bar is, at which frame it will tell the nodes that you are in a certain text stripe. In this case, for example, the bar is on top of the sphere, so it should generate a sphere, and it should also change the text object to sphere. So that's actually what's going on. And see, you can see here, get the text informations and then just simply pipe it into the typography viewer. And this one is the one that's actually generating the text. Let me change the size, for example, change the extrusion, and everything gonna change on the fly. So that's one functions. And the other one, let's go here. Based on the text, it's look at this dictionary. I have a little bit of Python code here. So a little bit of dictionary, basically, if the text is a sphere, give it index 0. If the text is a monkey, give it index 1, and donut, and so on and so on. So it's kind of like enumerating the text information. So the text data now goes in here. It becomes the index, and as an index, we can use the list item that's basically looking at the sphere, Suzanne, and torus objects, and then it's gonna basically generate either one of these geometry based on this information. So let's say if I want to make one more objects, I'm gonna save this real quick just in case it crashes or something. So I'm gonna create another one. I call it I just gonna create a box. So box objects, and I'm gonna pipe the vertices and then the polygon data. So we actually have the fourth object, and we're gonna add it to our dictionary. So here we're gonna add our cube. I'll just call it cube, and then give it a index of 3. And now I'm gonna change one of this guy into cube. Scrub it, and then now the cube appears. So this is something I think just still like experimental, but it's already kind of usable. You kind of know the functions, and yeah, I think this is quite interesting because it becomes really easy for you to kind of make a timing adjustment. Um, this is normally not easy, and if you have like a multiple object, you want to change every object and at every frame, you can now have control over it. Because in Blender, sometimes, especially with the VSE, you are working in the layered and like a stack of layers, and also you have this kind of timeline. This is actually can be really useful. I don't know how far we can actually kind of explore this idea. This provides you a tool to quickly adjust the timing of anything, and it becomes very easy if you want to stack things. I have another idea where we have like a MIDI, some kind of MIDI setup, MIDI in and out, and using this, it's gonna trigger sound. So that's also might be possible, but although there's a limit of how many layers we can have in here. But for animation, this is also can be very interesting. Imagine if as we are scrubbing on every stripes, the animation actually happening. That's actually can be really interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna share with you this node setup. I'm gonna name it VSE timing for the node. So yeah, have a study, have a look, maybe make modifications. If you have made something, let me know, and I'll give it a look and study. Maybe you know a lot more of Python, and then so you can make a more interesting setup like this. But yeah, so there you go. That's a VSE and nodes working together to generate something in 3D. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.